Hello everybody, welcome back to Musings by Nikki. I'm here today with like kind of some couple of random things. Well, not random, I mean chosen, purposeful. I'm going to show you a new kit that I put in my shop just yesterday. And then I'm going to, if we have time, I know we'll have time because it's not going to take, an hour to do that. So I'll show you what I did with what we were working on last time in this book, and then I've got something that I kind of started and we'll pick up with that as well. I've got my coffee, Crafted Press from Caribou. Holla if you know what Caribou is about. If you don't live where there's a Caribou, I'm so sorry for you. Unless you live, in somewhere in like Europe or in a bigger city where you have all the little local coffee shops everywhere. Those are brilliant. But more on that later. Anyway, I'm going to show you my new kit. It is called the Naturalist, and it is kind of just, it's felt springy for like 3 days here in Minnesota, and I'm quite enjoying it. Today I have the window open, so if you hear cars roll by or kids out screaming or whatever in the outside, it's because the window is open, and like I said, it's gorgeous. It's in the 60s, and for us that's tropical in Minnesota this time of year. So I just kind of have been inspired by spring and stuff, and so I put this kit together. I think I've also been inspired by the project that I've been working on, kind of this botanical, flora, fauna, botany type of theme. So anywho, let's get to it. It's called the Naturalist. There are 10 papers and some ephemera, and then there's a separate kit. Well, I'll get to that. It's not really a kit. Anyway, here's the first paper. This kit has lots of plants, some flowers, mushrooms, and some black and white images kind of layered in behind things. So that's the first paper. Here is the next. Here is the next one. I love these mushrooms here. These leaves are pretty too. Here is the next image. So there are, I think there are like 5 that are like this, just kind of with nature images, with some flora and mushrooms. Here's the next one. Then there are 2 pages like this. So kind of what I imagine, the naturalist making out in the field, not probably, not a professional person, just a amateur, pleasure person who's going out in the field and checking stuff out. So here we're making some notes and observations. And then here's another page like that. I just switched up the images on that one. Then here I have made some clipboards, and I layered the clipboards up with a bunch of papers that they would have, and then a couple of I made up a couple of little reference cards here with different things, and this one's got an envelope behind, this one's got a book behind, and some samples of plants and some writing utensils. So that's that one. And then here I made a book laying open with, again, to look like a nature book, and a magnifying glass because you need to make observations, and some samples of stuff again. And then here's just a ripped piece of paper, and I kind of drew some leaves on there. And then this one these are field notes and field records cards, and those come in the ephemera part as well as a separate piece, but here I've just laid them on this, like they're on the desk. And then a little tin with some samples of different seed pods and nuts from the field. And then here are a couple of little tags that you would tag stuff with. So then these next 2 pages, so these are the 2, that's the papers. These are the 2 cards that are layered here, and you can purchase them separately as a standalone, so you would just get this sheet and this sheet. This first one is field records. So there's room for like the catalog information here, a place to sketch, and then up here it just says the species, location, notes, date. So there are 4 of those, and you can, as they are great journaling card size. You could draw in them, you could layer stuff on to make them into tags if you printed them on cardstock. They're pretty versatile. You could print them out larger if you wanted big, like to be a full page. And then this one is field notes, and it's got spaces here for the date, locality and route and time, the weather and weather observations, the habitat, the list of species seen, the vegetation, and then down here says general observations. So I've made some small ones and some larger ones. So you get these 2 with the Naturalist kit, but then you also can buy them separately if that's the only piece of it that you would want to add to other projects or whatever. And then here's the first page of ephemera. These are just some journal cards down here with mushrooms, some little tags, a picture of some succulents, cacti, and then just some little page embellishments with butterflies. You can't really, it's not picking up on camera. There's like embossed background. They're pretty. Then this page has some tags with some flowers and plants on them, a couple of little mini tags up here with black and white images. Then here I've made some labels that you can just use on, and I've printed some of those out to play with in the book I'm working on now. Then this one has 2 little mini envelopes, like coin envelope size envelopes. And then this you can use as kind of like as you would use washi. Or, you can cut out a chunk of it, or just cut out this mushroom, or tear, this plant or this chunk of plants or something. And you can use those as little embellishments, as collages on the bottom of your pages, or you can cut out this whole strip and use it as washi, as you would use washi, unless you print it on sticker paper, and then it would be washi. But then you'd have these on sticker paper and, whatever you want to do. And then this page, this is the last, well, no, it's not the last page of ephemera. This is 2 pockets and 2 library cards that fit in them. So they have some black and white stuff layered in the back, then some mushrooms and some plants, and the cards have plants and butterflies on them. So that's that one. And then this is the last one. So this actually prints out, or cuts out, and it's a little bit longer than these are, and they've got the 3 offset tabs. So when you print this out, you can actually layer these up, and they should just sit right nicely inside this pocket, and the tabs should stick out of the top. And I printed off one of these that I will use. So it says, it has, the pictures of what it is inside that file. So there's that. So that is my kit, the Naturalist. If you guys want that, if you're interested at all, you can go to my Etsy, and it is in the shop already. If that's what you came to watch, thank you very much. If you want to hang out, we're going to do some other stuff. So moving on to other stuff. Let me put this over here. So Tracie Fox, because what I'm doing right now is working through this book, and this is a design team project for Tracie Fox, and I'm just kind of crafting through with you guys. I'm doing it in the style of Wendy from Wendy's Journal Adventures, because I just think she's awesome, and I think her and Tracie go so well together, and if I could ever just, you know, hang out and have lunch with 3 people in the journal world, wouldn't it be so fun to have Mrs. Coggs and Tracie and Wendy from, oh my gosh, that would just be, anyhow, I digress. Sip of coffee. Can you tell I haven't had enough yet? Huh. So, Tracie came out with this super awesome kit today. I think it just went into her Etsy today. And I downloaded it and printed it as soon as I got home because I was like, this is perfect for the project that I'm working on right now. So here's the thing. I have a 1-inch punch, and I was not paying attention when I printed this first one. So I printed it, and the 1-inch punch is too big, and I was like, what the heck, because it says right on here, print at 100 and 1-inch punch can be used. Well, that requires you printing at 100, and I had my printer to set to like shrink to fit, so it didn't go. Not to say I won't be using them. I've already punched them and used them, or I'm using them for what I'm going to work on today. But I also didn't print this on sticker paper. I mean, they're so pretty, you guys. These are so awesome. So there's blank ones that are the back, and then floral ones or butterflies and stuff that are the front. But I went and printed them. The second time I printed them, I got smart, and now the 1-inch punch fits perfectly. I just had to fiddle with my settings, and I printed them on sticker paper this time. So I should be able to much easily, rather than fiddling with like glue and getting glue all over my fingers, what I'll probably do is stick these down to a piece of cardstock, punch them, then stick, you know, then punch the backs out and stick those onto the backs, and then ink on the edge. I hope you're following what I'm saying, because I'm talking fast. Anyway, they're brilliant. I love these. She's got a video over on her channel where she's turning them into little like dangles, little disc embellishments they're called, but they're like little dangles off of bulb pins and stuff. So I'll show you how I'm using mine today, but I will probably make a few like she did to put into this book because they're just so adorable. So there's that. Also, what I have, so I have those to play with, and then I wanted to reprint some of the vintage, like the floral plates that I've been using, vintage botanical plates, but I printed them on vellum. So because they're so pretty, and on vellum, man, they're just beautiful too. And you're of course not going to be able to see that here on there. Oh, they're just so pretty, and it just, the camera does not do them justice. I'm in love with this page specifically. So I've got these, and then I printed the other page of these out, and I've already trimmed those out. So I've got that, and then I've printed out these pages from my kit that I just showed you. Oh, and I printed some, I was going to print this again, and for some reason now, because I had my settings all wonky from before, and so I printed them so they're extra huge, but that's okay because they fit really well in what I'm about to do. So happy accidents. So I printed these out, and that way I can cut one of these out and show you. And then I thought I could use a couple of these for these tags for what we're going to do. So all of that said, now here is the book, right, that I've shown you. And here's the pile of ephemera and stuff. Here's what we worked on last time. Let me close this so it's not. Here's what we worked on last time, right? So we made this folder. However, I went and put a piece of Gail Agostinelli's, Gail's, her shop is Cinnamon Tea on Etsy, tea like the letter T, and I put a piece of her trim across the top, and I feel like that just really kind of finished that edge. And then I couldn't stop myself, so my husband and I were just up in the room chatting and hanging out and watching a movie, and I started collaging, and then I found these really cool leaf charms, and so I put one of those, I put on the tabs a little hole, and then I put a little skeleton leaf, and I did the same on the back, and I put a little leaf there too. So now when it goes over the page, you'll have that kind of dangling as well. So super pretty. And then that's all the stuff that I've already done. So here's the book that I'm working on, just in case you haven't seen it. It's skinny, but it's already, when I just stick the ephemera in there, it's already getting squishy and fatter, but I don't care. We'll tie that thing shut with, you know, some pretty sorry silk. So here's what I'm working on today. Since I am trying to, here's my thought behind this. I love Wendy's channel, and she has all these great ideas that I just have never actually really tried, but they're like things that I think, oh, that's so cool, I would do that in my journal. So I'm just adapting them and trying them right now because her ideas go well with Tracie's ephemera. So she did on one video kind of this is going to have a little twisty tie pocket thing. But she did these, but she did them smaller, and I'm kind of adapting it because I have wider space in the book. And what I want to do with these, let me pull the book up one more time. What I want to do with these is, in between the signatures, I want to put 2 of these, so one on both sides, and they fit just perfectly like this. And I'll leave the back open, and then this will open up here. So that's kind of what I'm going for here, are 2 of these in between the signatures where I've got a little bit more space to play with. So that's going to go there. So what I did, I think she made hers, you know, more like, so this is a piece of 12 by 12. Let's start with that, right? So this was at one point a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. I simply cut it into 2 sections of 6 inches each. And then I arbitrarily folded the bottom up, I don't know, however far felt good. And then I took the top down to just barely cross over. I think hers maybe overlapped more, but when it was narrower, she could. But when it was bigger like this, when I did that, it made it too kind of squat. So I came just down to the edge, so 6 inches wide, both of them. This one I've already chomped the corners on to round them off, and I've inked around the edges. And then I took some of Gail's trim again, so I took another piece of her trim because this and this are so close together that when it was closed you couldn't really tell kind of where the one started and the other stopped. So let's do this again. Try to get them close here. Because I would like them to match. Not match like matchy-matchy, but, you know, be about roughly the same size. Okay. So we'll do that. And then with it closed, yeah, so I'll show you what I mean about just barely coming down. Okay, so those are about the same. So it just barely overlaps there, right? Just barely. But that's okay because it makes it taller. Otherwise, like I said, it was kind of just too short and squat. So we will, if I can find my, there we go. We'll munch the corners on that. And then I opened it up and I was like, that's just kind of too boring when I have these trims. And then it's, you know, when you close it, it was like really too boring. So when I put this trim on and you closed it, now it has this pretty edge and I like that. So I've got the rest of the kit here, and I don't think I'll use the wide ones. I think I will use, you know what, and these are my sticker ones, and I used a not sticker one. So maybe this one, when you put it on, there. That's pretty. So we'll do that. But first I got to ink around the edges of this. I did not chomp these corners because those are going to be the pocket. These are going to form a pocket. And then this will flap down, and I'll stick some of those overprinted, those two big tags. They fit perfectly in here, so I'll stick those in there. So I'm going to go ahead and ink around this really quickly because I know how much everybody loves watching inking. While I'm doing this, I'll tell you about the alert that I got on my phone today. If you live anywhere in the Minnesota, maybe like South Dakota, I think even maybe northern Iowa area, you may be aware that we're supposed to get a potentially huge winter storm again midweek. So we're supposed to possibly on Wednesday. And I mean, computer models, when you live in a place that you get lots of snow, or I would figure it's probably the same way where you get lots of heat or anything like that, you kind of learn that you only trust meteorology so far. But the computer models have it anywhere from 16 to like 20 inches around us. And that is absurd because it is the middle of stinking August, you guys. Or not August. What am I talking about? It's the middle of April. Not quite the middle, but still. A 16-inch snowstorm is a little bit much right now. We were finally just starting to enjoy this nicer weather. But whatever, it's Minnesota. What do you expect? Stay around for 5 minutes and the weather will change. I am going to, do I need to ink the edge of that? I think I did already. So we'll put that across. These are so pretty. And you know what I like about these is that because my book is already getting a little bit bulky and I haven't even filled anything up, I haven't done any stitching because sewing definitely makes things get bulkier. So I like that these are flat and they're not going to add tons of bulk to my, I don't think there's an up or a down necessarily on that. They're not going to add a ton of bulk to my book. So I can make these, because these are already going to have a little dimension to them with the little clasp and stuff. So I like that I can have the look of textile, but not have to worry about the bulk. Because this certainly, like this is a really heavily embroidered trim, and if this were here in real life, it would be thick, you know, as same with this one. So oh my goodness, you guys, look at my new scissors. This is a squirrel moment. Look at how shiny and sparkly they are. Ooh, like my nails. Sparkly nails, sparkly scissors. Look at those. This is the dangers of like going into the craft aisle to buy scissors rather than just going to the school supply area to buy scissors at Target. Because I saw these and it said limited edition and I was like, ooh, they're sparkly. So I bought them because I needed scissors. My other ones were getting pretty dull. Okay, so these two are at the same spot, right? So here is what I did with Tracie's kit. I punched out two of the back ones, or just the little circles with no images on them, and they just kind of have like a grungy, like kind of coffee stained little look to them. So see how these are the ones that were too big for my 1-inch punch, but I just inked around the edge and it took that white edge right off, and now they look fine. So I'm going to use those as the little wind around thingies. There's probably a technical term for that, but I have no idea what it is. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to sew this pocket shut. So if I want to sew up and maybe around so it kind of shows like this. I think I want to do that. So my sewing machine's over there and I have to like maneuver. So I'm gonna do that and then I'll come back. Okay, hold on just a second. All right, so we're back, you guys. That was way more of a big deal than just sewing around these things. It was a whole thing with my sewing machine. Not my sewing machine's great. It was finding a bobbin and all that stuff. And then I got all done and I was like, oh, that looks great. And then I realized, don't be like Nikki. Put these on first, because now it's sewn shut, which is great. And this is going to be a way more labor intensive and finicky problem to get this dumb thing through and the clasp opened up. Thank God it's not a super deep pocket. So if you are crafting along with me, I'm so sorry. Please, I hope you didn't sew this shut before you put this thing on. So the step I'm about to do right now will be made way easier by you just doing this first. So I have my pokey tool, and I am just totally gonna eyeball middle-ish, right? And go through here. And now I'm going to attempt to not poke my finger and not poke through the back, although it wouldn't be detrimental because you won't really see the back. So there. Okay. And what I'm going to do is, I've got my little container of stuff and junk, and I'm going to use this kind of old gold color. And then, because I always forget who to credit this to. I don't remember if it was Wendy or if it was Gail. One of them had the brilliant idea. I think it's Gail. I think Gail maybe said she saw it from someone else. I don't know. But it's this brilliant idea where you take an eyelet and it's like cancel it is what she called it. So you just do this and you squeeze it without any, clearly it's not through anything. So you get this little one with nothing, it's just this little squished eyelet, because it ends up becoming a spacer, so you have space to wind that through. So you put your, oh my gosh, if you can, you put your fastener through your hole here, and then you put this canceled one behind it, like so, and then it creates just that minute space, so it stands off the page just slightly, so there's, room to, now this is the part that's going to be difficult, out. I should look at which direction I'm even going here. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to show you this very well on camera probably, because just getting it open inside there. Okay. Definitely do that step before now you can see what I'm saying, right? It would be way easier to do that step. So it makes just a little space. You can't really see it on camera. Oh, kind of. Just a little space there. So when you wrap the thread around. All right, let's do this one. This one got off to the side a little. Let's make a little more careful. Not that it matters because it's eyeball. And I just don't get super hung up on that stuff, or I try not to. Sometimes I do. Can't lie. Okay. trying not to poke my finger, trying not to poke through the back. Then paper fastener, canceled eyelet, going the right direction, through the pocket. You guys are probably going, what are you doing? You should be, that doesn't feel super inked. I'm going to ink a little bit extra around the edge of that, which I can because it stands off the page a little. Okay, there we go. So we have those. And then we need to set two, I need 2 more eyelets because we need to set those in the top part for our string to go through. I am going to use this color here because it kind of matches with the, it doesn't match at all, but I say it doesn't match at all. And then I'm gonna, I kind of want to mark about, I want it to kind of, even though they're this kind of off center a little bit, I want it to go right there. So I'm going to get a pen and just put a little mark. And I want to put it down as close to the stitching as I can so it's not floating, you know, way high. And then we'll do this one too. Okay, now we will punch those holes. This part you can easily do without, with it being sewn already. Oh, you know what else I was thinking as I was sewing? I, after I found a bobbin and got my sewing machine all situated and everything, then I just sat there for a second and had a sip of coffee. And I thought, I just said that I would love to have coffee with the 3 ladies that I mentioned, Tracie, Liz from Miss Coggs Crafts, and oh my gosh, I've got little dot things, and Wendy. And then I was like, as I was sitting there, I'm going, wait, but I want April from Pink Odd Bird to come, and I want, for some reason these ones don't get as flat. Urgh, muscle. And then I want Chantal to come, and I want Gail to come. And then I started making this huge long list in my head of all the ladies that I want to come. Nick the Booksmith, of this huge long list. So I've just decided that someday my dream come true would be to have all those ladies come together. Nope, that's too white. That's too bright white. I'm gonna get some twine. I've got, woo, geez, baker's twine that I found at the thrift shop. So we're gonna use that, and I always cut it like obscenely long. Because I've cut it too short, and then it's, you know, difficult to fuss with. So anyway, I've decided that my dream would be to meet up with all of you all, my friend Terry, like all the lovely people that I've met through YouTube and stuff. Man, there's some good people in this journal community. Obviously I'm just threading this through here, right? And there we go. Wait, I want it to go the other way. I always do that backwards. Is this the way I just did it? Again, yep. Through the front, Nikki. Oh my gosh. You guys, this just gives you a clue as to what my crafting on my own looks like. There, I like, first, you could really do it anyway. It really doesn't matter. I just like the way that looks. See what I'm talking about? So then this wraps around because there's space, and we're going to tie, she has some, like I think she uses a Tim Holtz charm on the bottom, and I happen to have some of those. Oh, it might be difficult to put my fingers on them right this very second. From the front, Nikki, right? Is that what I did? Yeah. We'll see if we can find them real quick. I'll check the one place that they should be. Yeah. Yay! Okay, and then I'm going to decorate the top a little bit too. Let me look right here. Let's see if they're in here or one other place here. Sorry guys, I'm just totally rumbling around in my space here. Oh, well, here's a couple random ones. Wander, I like that. Altered, breathe. Wander and breathe. Yay, look at that. These were not, these were just, they must have spilled out and they were just in the bottom of the drawer that I was just in. So that works. Now, these two should fit through there like that. And then to try and get it where I want it to be. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out, do I want it to, I need some of those little crimp things. Let's see. I don't want it to be any more than that, so I'm gonna just tie it off right here. And then probably put a double knot in there. Actually, sometimes what I do here like this is put a little dab of Fabri-Tac on there, and it just solidifies that knot. But first I want to make sure I've got the right length. Like, I wonder if that's, oh no, that looks right about right. You can kind of see it on there, right? So what I'm going to do is take my Fabri-Tac, and right on the little knot here, right on the knot, I'm just going to put a dab. I'm going to try and just kind of push them down into that, like that. And then I take my finger and just kind of smoosh it into the knot. And then once that is dry, I'll flip it over and do the back side, and that just kind of keeps the knot there so that it doesn't slip off and you don't lose your little guy. And then this one, breathe. Now to try and get them roughly the same. You guys, my brain is still going on it when I get quiet here. You know what I'm thinking right away? Oh, well, we need Jennifer from Genevieve Designs. You can't forget her. Like everybody, everybody just keeps popping in my head. I've got a huge long list already going in my head. We need Steven, the one guy from Tracie's Facebook group. Steven needs to come for sure. I mean, he'd be our one guy journal maker. Okay, so there's that, and I'm gonna put the little Fabri-Tac on there. Okay, I also, when I get quiet here, of course my brain starts thinking, are we seriously going to get snow on Wednesday? I really don't think we're going to get a ton of snow. I think it'll be more like slush because it's too warm. That's probably me just trying to, you know, make myself feel better about it. So I'm just squishing the glue down, trying to get it kind of between the fibers and between the knot. There we go. And once more over here, and then once I do that, I will trim the ends of this. And then what I'm going to do inside is I think I will use some of Tracie's tags and toppers to just kind of load, now I've got glue on my fingers, to load up inside there. I think on the front here what I want to do is get my, this is from my kit, so I think I want to use these specimen labels here. Oh, and then maybe I can throw a few of my tags in there too, from right down there. Okay. Oh, as I just threw that away, it made me think again. I haven't had a chance to watch, to read Tracie's new challenge. She puts on her, if you're not a part of her Facebook group, you certainly should be. If you're on Facebook, it's a lot of fun. It's a really supportive community of people, and Tracie does about once a month these really fun challenges for everybody. So you don't have to be somebody who's like a whole journal maker. You don't have to be somebody who has all the supplies or anything. The way she has it set up, it's for everybody. Everybody can be a part of it, and you do it with whatever level you're at and whatever stuff you have at your disposal, and she makes it so you can do that. And right now she just has one with her kind of in at the same time of putting out this new kit, the little dots, this little circle ones. She also put out another challenge, so I need to go look at that because they're super fun. Okay, yep, see that little bit of glue, just really put that right on there and keeps it on. So that goes around there, and that goes around there, and then we'll put the little specimen labels here. Wait, we'll go, because they'll be on opposite sides, like next to each other. And then I feel like it needs something out. Oh, I had ripped out one of the vellum plants, which again, you really can't see all that well because it's on vellum, but I kind of like the way it looks over the, just over that, I don't know. I kind of like the way it just barely is like an overlay. It reminds me of when I'm doing my digital work. I like to layer, and the vellum lets me do that. Or do I want to put like one of her, those are too tall. So maybe we'll just go with, oh, well, cheesecloth. That'll make it pop. We'll put some cheesecloth on there, or behind there. And it's threads everywhere again. So my last scissors, when my scissors get to the point where they can't cut cheesecloth, then it's time to go. And my last ones were struggling. So look at that, like butter. All right, and I'm just gonna pull it apart like I do and stretch it this way. Yep. On my last video, I was talking about how gloopy my glue was, and somebody commented that I should put nail polish remover in it, right? But do you think I did that? Nope. I just came back on here to film with gloopy glue. I don't think I put quite enough on there. Really gotta when I put cheesecloth behind something, I know I've said this a billion times, but I don't, there, look at that. You can barely see on camera. Well, anyway, I usually put a little extra glue on there because then it just goes down, sinks through this layer. Because when I first started doing this, I would try to glue the cheesecloth down first. Well, you guys, that is a giant mess because cheesecloth is very loose weave, and you know, what a mess that was. I would just get so frustrated, and then, you know, as with everything that I have learned in this journal making adventure, I was probably watching someone's YouTube video and watched them do this, and I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. And I still do that. I still do that when I watch people's videos. I go, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. Let's make sure. Oh yeah, that got down. Okay, I like these. You know what? I just said I was going to glue these on opposite sides, and I just did not do that, but oh well. I'm not really bothered by it. So this opens up, and I think on Wendy's, when she did this, I think she made a notebook on top, but this is kind of thin, so there's not really room. It's like, not thin, but it's too skinny. So if I made a notebook, it would be weird. It would usually need to go this way. But what I'm going to do is just put stuff in this pocket right here. And then maybe I will at some point collage something up here. Who knows? Maybe tea card. Oh yeah, that kind of looks nice. Ooh, a tea card and some I got so excited. Some of the little mini embellishments. Tiny embellishments. Let's do that. We're just going to use this one that I just grabbed off the top, and because I got all excited about this. And let's find some little pieces of stuff. There's a little card, and I like a little butterfly, and nope, that's the same shape. Maybe just that. Maybe just those two. Yeah, that's probably fine. These are my sticker ones. This is not a sticker one, so we'll put that down. I don't want to put cheesecloth behind it because I don't want to bulk, you know, this up too much. Ooh, I should be layering some. Oh, I know what else I could put on here though. Okay, I'll do this. And then I've got, if I can put my hands on them, yep, my little stack of stamped muslins that I pulled out for this project. That one's kind of big. Maybe it's going to be too big. For a minute there I thought it was brilliant, but maybe not. So, the cute little butterfly. Let's see. Let's look at this one. This one's a little smaller. That, and where did my little butterfly go? Yeah, I kind of like that. We'll put it there. And I will leave these out right there because I will do the other one off camera because I'm probably bumping up against an hour pretty quick. Oh my goodness, my glue. Look at, it's just bloobing all over the place. Glooby, glooby. Definitely gonna have to put some acetone in there, huh? Okay, I'm gonna zhuzh the edges of this with just a little bit of ink that's left on my sponge. Okay, so I just got done saying I don't want to put cheesecloth in here, and then here I am putting fabric, but oh well. It's the creative process. It doesn't always make sense, but it always ends up being fun. And even when I make a mistake, that's I think that's what's part of Tracie's challenge is about this month. When you make a mistake, to keep a hold of that stuff and try to work with it and make something good come out of it rather than just writing it off. And I think that's what I like to do. When I do collage, I try to, I feel like I work in odd numbers. So if I put this in here right now, it's going to feel weird because it's like one extra. So we're just going to go with the butterfly because I like it. And here's the tricky part. Getting it off the... That one worked really well. Thank you. There, that's so fun. Now when you open it up, that's what you see, right? So here's the front, and then you open it up and now you have this little collage up on top. And then in here will be some tags, and I will put maybe a couple of mine and a couple of Tracie's. So there we go. I'm gonna stop here for today. I'm gonna do a little collage on the inside of this and then cut out some tags and put them in here, load these guys up, and then put them in my book with all the rest of the ephemera. And I feel like I'm getting pretty darn close to starting to actually load, to affixing these things and kind of making the bigger tags, because this I'm going to put on the page and then it will have, be a pocket here. So I'll need some, taller tags to go in here, or a taller tag or something. So I'll start working on that stuff. And if you guys are still interested, I'll just keep bringing you along with me. So thank you for all your support, and go look for my new kit in my shop. And I will see you guys again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.